Hello there and welcome to Live Music and Me, a series of music podcasts where we get some of our friends to come on and talk about their gig memories. On today's podcast, our guest was the Scottish singer-songwriter Kirsten Adamson. If you're the type of person who enjoys watching or listening to podcasts that talk about Aerosmith, Nirvana tribute bands, Kate Bush, Neil Young, Muse, and driving 14 hours to Brighton and back for a gig, and Big Country, this is the podcast for you. Kirsten was in top form, really appreciate her time, and if you get the chance to see her when she's playing live soon, I would encourage you to do that. Hope you'll enjoy this one, and until the next time, all the best. Stay safe. Kirsten, good morning. How are we?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Not bad at all. Where do we find you today?
I'm in Edinburgh in a little place called Cramond, which is by the sea,
Yeah, very
and
nice, Grammond.
it's very nice. Usually, not today. It's not though because it's raining and windy.
Scottish winter.
Yes, indeed. We're almost at the solstice, so the tables are about to turn.
Fingers
Thankfully,
crossed. Love a bit.
I hate the winter. I hate the winter.
Oh
I don't think I was meant to be Scottish.
no, no, maybe get back over to Nashville and stuff again.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, maybe one day. Okay, then. So, are you ready to have a go at live music and me?
I am, and do you know what? I've not prepared for it at all, so it's going to be as raw as you get.
We're going to wing it, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool stuff. Well, let's start off with reasonably easy one, hopefully. So tell me
Okay.
about the first gig you ever went to.
I imagine that the first gig I ever went to was probably a big country one.
Okay.
However, I don't really remember that specifically, but I know for a fact the first big gig I ever went to was Aerosmith.
Okay.
I vaguely remember being in a massive venue and having the little, ear defenders on, and that's about all I remember. So my
Where was it? Do you know?
it was in Glasgow, I think.
Glasgow.
It was
Right.
my mum had taken us, and yeah, but like I say, I don't really have very many memories of that. But the first gig that I would say I remember would be a Barrowlands gig, and I don't know what year it would have been, but I would have been at the sound check a little bit. So I think probably early 90s. And yeah, I remember, when we went to see Big Country at Barrowlands, we would sit up the very back of the venue,
Hmm.
at the sort of guest list seats against the back wall. And as the night went on, you would feel the wall becoming wet behind you with all the sweat. And
Yeah,
yeah, those Barrowlands gigs that I was taken to as a kid are still some of my favorite memories.
I can imagine. One of my top five gigs ever is Big Country at the Barrowlands from Hogmanay
Yeah.
in '83, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a story behind that as well. But that hot and sweaty thing for sure. Yeah, still the same now.
Still an amazing venue. The good thing about the Barrowlands is it's not changed,
No.
It's just it's this you get the springy floor and the atmosphere and the sound's always great and
Yeah.
it's a big venue, but it feels intimate enough that you feel like you're experiencing it.
Yeah, and the
Feel,
kind of the histories in the walls, isn't it? You can almost feel it when you go in. So
Absolutely, yeah.
it's cracking. Okay then. So that one to start. What about the last gig that you went to? That wasn't your own.
The last gig I went to, I'm trying to think. The last actual gig that I went to was a Nirvana tribute that my partner plays in, and
Uh-huh.
it was at St. Luke's in Glasgow. And that was the last gig I went to for me, but it was the first gig that actually, that's a lie. One of the first gigs that wasn't me that my son went to.
Ah, right. Oh,
And
magic.
he
Yeah.
he likes Nirvana, so I thought I would keep him up late on a school night and let him go and watch some of my friends doing this tribute thing, and it was great. It was
I,
really
I
good.
like I like that last gig, first gig thing. That's really good.
Yeah, it's cool, eh?
Yeah, super cool. Do you want to give them a plug, the band? What
What are they called? It's just called what is it called? Nirvana Unplugged Experience or something like that. I mean, it's
Right.
just it's a thing that they do as pals, every so often.
Yep.
And yeah,
And
so
did
I
and
don't
did
know when it's next happening.
and did you all enjoy it together?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sid loved it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good. Magic. That's good. I love that. That's great. That's that whole circular music thing
It's
going on,
cool,
isn't it?
yeah. And
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to get into music, and I've never pushed it,
Yeah.
like anything, the more you push something, the further away they get from it. But he's just naturally got into it himself, and it's really cool to see.
Magic. That's great. I love that. Okay, then what about first gig that you went to with a partner, like a gig date?
With a partner,
Yeah,
like a boyfriend or
whatever that is. Yeah.
whatever.
Like a
Um,
like a night out, but with with someone who wasn't like your best pal or whatever.
oh my goodness. Okay, let's have a
You
think about this then.
you can come back to it if you want.
No, no,
No?
I'll have a wee think. I'll have a think. Um, no, actually, we might have to come back to it. I
Okay.
can't even think what that would have been, but I will. I'll keep it. I'll keep that one in the back of my
No
head.
bother. I'll try and drop back to it again. Okay. Okay, so what about a bucket gig in the past that you wish you had got to? Some sort of iconic, or for you, something that would have been quite important.
Um, I mean, I I did end up seeing this artist, but I would have loved to have been at like the first run of Kate Bush dates down at the
Yeah,
Hammersmith Apollo.
yeah. What was that, like
I think
79, 80, something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
79, and I think that would have been incredible.
Mm,
Seeing her
like,
when she was doing all the moves and um yeah, I think that would have been great because obviously she's gone on to not really ever tour and
mm.
I think it would have been such a brilliant thing to have seen.
I've never seen her. I remember that tour at the time. I was quite young, but I remember it happening, and it was such a big thing because people didn't really do that kind of review type idea,
Yeah,
multiple dates in one venue. But the downside was that if you lived in Greenock, as I did at the time, getting to London at 13 for a gig wasn't easy.
yeah.
So she did it again. Did you say you saw her
It
when?
did, yeah. I ended up seeing her doing, and I think it's called the Hammersmith Odeon now, but 2014,
Yeah,
and yeah, she did a long run of dates. I think it was 19 shows she did.
yeah.
And yeah, I was lucky enough to see her. Um,
And worth
just
it.
I never thought that that would ever happen,
Yeah.
you know.
And how
So,
good was she?
oh, she was amazing. She was really amazing. She'd created an incredible show and with kind of beautiful costumes and great musicians, as you can imagine.
Hmm.
And I think the atmosphere that you felt there was just that I think everyone couldn't believe that they were watching this person,
Yeah,
they'd written off the idea of ever seeing Kate Bush live. And so there was loads of people with tears in their eyes, and it's a celebration of music. And actually she never played that many of our what we would class as Kate Bush hits.
yeah.
Um, she played a lot of stuff from Ariel and the Ninth Wave and kind of the more obscure stuff. But it was beautiful.
Mm. Yeah, I wish I was there. Do you think she'll do it again?
I don't know. I don't know.
She's not old,
She's
she's
not she's
no.
not old, but I just don't know. I
Okay.
don't
I'm sort of I'm making a case for her to do it again so I
know.
can try
Yeah,
and see her.
we'll
Yeah.
email her.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, she'll be probably watch this when it goes out. Okay, so what about a gig that you went to that surprised you? Like it was better than you thought it was going to be, or it was worse than you thought it was going to be? You can be honest.
Are you going to ask me what the worst gig I've ever been to is, or no?
I might.
That's not on the
It's not on
remit.
the list, no, it's not. But not, we try not to be too negative. But
Yeah,
sometimes you
fair,
build
fair
yourself up
enough.
to see a gig, and it doesn't
Yeah,
quite work out like that. So
well, oh, I saw Terry Reid playing in a place called the is it Backstage at the Green Hotel in Kinross.
Right.
and I'd hoped that that was going to be great, you know,
Okay.
Lungs Terry, and and it was surprisingly not great. It was a bit of a shambles,
All right.
and I think, um, yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on, with Terry that night. But yeah, I was expecting something amazing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't.
Do you
So.
think you just got them in a bad night, do you think? Or
Well, I know I knew a lot of the band that were playing that night, and I think they'd rehearsed the set, and then all of a sudden Terry was calling out songs that no one had rehearsed. So it
okay.
was more just that the gig was a bit chaotic rather
Yeah.
than that the players were rubbish. They weren't, and Terry Reid wasn't rubbish either.
No.
It was just that, they were trying to play these songs off the cuff that nobody knew. So it became pretty chaotic,
Yeah, I
put it
can imagine.
that
And
way.
some artists, I guess, can kind of get away with that. I mean, I've seen Springsteen quite a lot, and he's famous for calling out songs and stuff. But of course, the
Yeah,
band have been together so long,
well, that's it, and they
you know.
probably know them in the back of their mind. But
Yeah.
this was a band that was put together for one show,
Right.
and so it's not really the place to be improvising, I would say, especially if your songs are complicated, which a lot of
Yeah.
his are.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I would say I was surprised.
Yeah.
Put it that way, I was surprised.
That's the same. And good venue as well.
Yeah, it's a good wee
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool. Um, what about a gig that you had a ticket to, but you never got?
don't know if I've ever done that.
Okay. I mean, that's
I,
impressive.
re I remember. I don't know. I actually think that I've been to every single gig that I've ever had a ticket for.
Wow.
Um, but I do remember going to see the Shins, and I don't think I could have been any more ill than I was. I was determined that I was going to see them. They played at the Barras years ago, and I remember standing there crying. On one hand, because I thought they were brilliant, and on the other hand, because I had this insane pain in my throat.
Oh,
And I think I actually had just gone by myself. I knew people that were there, but I remember standing on my own and just feeling insanely ill.
yeah, but you went.
But I went, I
Yeah.
went. Yay.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah, this one came up in the chat from ages ago because I was working in Italy at the time and I got some tickets to see the Proclaimers at the Barrowlands and arranged with my wife and two friends to go who were all living here. And the week before the gig, you know how when somebody brings the papers out to you and you're in like Spain or whatever, like Sunday Mail and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody I was working with brought me out the Sunday Mail and it was the 7 day review of all the things happening. And one of the things in the review was a review of the Proclaimers at the Barrowlands, 5-star review. And I read it and thought, oh, that's great because I'm going to see them next week, next Saturday.
Were you meant to be at that
That was
gig?
a gig, yeah. And I didn't realise I flew back for the gig.
Oh
I
my God.
mean, and I still get pelters to this day, so
Yeah.
as you can imagine.
I had
Right.
I had a ticket to go and see. I think it was Pearl Jam and Pixies that were meant to be playing, but it ended up getting cancelled. I think just because of COVID, actually.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's another category. I haven't asked that one before. You
yeah,
know, gigs you had tickets to that
gigs
got
that got
cancelled.
cancelled.
I like
Yeah,
that one actually.
there you go.
I
There's a
think
new one.
perfect. I'm going to stick that one on. I love that. Best support act you've ever seen.
Ooh, okay. Um, who have I seen the best support act? Um, Do you know, I went to see Muse and Queens of the Stone Age were opening for them.
Right. Okay.
And I think I ended up enjoying that more than I ended up enjoying Muse.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's one support act that I enjoyed better than the headline.
I can't say I'm surprised at that, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I know Muse are one of these funny bands, where I feel like they were huge at the time, but I don't know if the music's aged very well.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. I don't know. I'd loved them, at the time when they came out. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's when I bought a ticket, but yeah, the Queens of the Stone Age were
yeah, I can imagine.
really
Just
brilliant.
giving it that, because
Just go for
they
it.
knock it
Yeah.
out, don't they? Yeah,
Oh, it was
yeah,
absolutely great. Yeah,
yeah.
really great.
I had a friend that says that ages ago about Muse that they're all the worst bits of Queen and Metallica put together, which I
Yeah.
thought was a bit
Yeah.
unfair, but I can kind of get
Well,
what he
I
was
can
saying.
see what they're meaning. I just feel like it's I don't know. In my mind, it's just maybe not aged as
Yeah,
well as some of the other bands that were around at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. Queens of Stone Age. That's a good one. Have you ever been to a gig that made you miss the last bus or train home, or plane or boat or?
Um, no, I don't think that I have. No,
Wow.
no, I don't know. I don't recall ever being stuck anywhere that I couldn't get home from.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was younger, I never drank an awful lot in my early 20s. I know that sounds insane, but in fact, in my late teens and early 20s. But I used to drive
Right.
everywhere. I used to be in my friend circle, these girls that we used to go to loads of gigs, and I used to just drive everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Your
there
friends
would
would love
always
you.
be, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there was always a ride home, or would be staying with friends somewhere. But yeah, generally I just drove everywhere when I was young.
Oh, I wish we'd met you 30 years ago. Well, obviously you would have been too
I
young,
mean
but
that all
yeah.
changed in my late 20s.
Yeah. When we went to that Barrowlands gig at the big country, Hogmanay, we couldn't get home
Yeah.
from Hogmanay, and hand on heart, we don't remember how we go home. So
My mum always talks about, she'd lived in Dunfermline, and my mum talks about coming to gigs in Edinburgh
yeah,
and not being able to get home, and they would walk.
yeah,
Apparently, would just walk back across the bridge,
yeah.
which sounds insane, but they would spend the night just walking back.
That's amazing. Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's got, quite fond memories of that.
As long as you're, I wouldn't want to do it on your own, but if
No,
you're
no,
with
no.
some friends and stuff, then that's
Yeah, she was
yeah,
with friends, so yeah, they
yeah.
would just walk back from Edinburgh.
It's part of the story, really, isn't it? It's what you remember. Um, the best music festival that you've been to. You can talk about that as a fan, or you can mention one that you've maybe played at, or both if you want.
Yeah, um, I mean, Tea in the Park is a long way from the best music festival that I've been to, but I went quite a few years when I was pretty young, and so my memories of all the bands that I saw there are amazing. But I mean, I probably the best festival that I've been to. I loved Glastonbury. I went in 2008. I've only ever been once.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was massive, and yeah, we walked loads, and it was muddy and all the things that Glastonbury's famous for. But it was great, it was I had a great time at Glastonbury.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been.
Yeah,
So far away. And we kept saying every 2 years we would make the effort and go, and then of course we never went. And
yeah.
you know,
I mean, I don't know what it's like now, but when I went, I just feel like the vibe was great. Everyone was cheery. It
yeah,
wasn't, it wasn't there was no aggro, and
yeah,
it just seemed to be like a massive hippie festival,
yeah.
which was brilliant.
I think it's a bit more corporate now, but we had one of the guests recently called out Glastonbury as their favourite festival, and they had been recently, and they
Right,
said
okay.
it's still
So it's
wonderful because
probably so good.
you can dip in and out of so many things that
Well,
you
that
don't.
was it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I liked about it is, you could go to the down to the main stage, but you could also spend hours just wandering about
yeah,
different parts of it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Can you remember who was headlining? Who did you?
Arcade Fire were on, but I
Oh,
think it was the Killers who ended up headlining it. But it was at the time when Arcade Fire were pretty massive, and I'm
yeah,
sure they headlined one of the nights.
yeah, yeah. Great band. Okay. What about a gig that you travelled the furthest to get to? You ever went on a journey to see someone?
Probably. trying to think. I don't know if I've ever flown to see anyone actually.
What's the furthest you went to play a gig?
Again, I haven't played outside of the UK yet. That's all going to
Right.
change next year.
Excellent.
Some dates across in Germany, but um, I guess recently on our tour, we drove 14 hours straight to go to Brighton. Um,
And
and
what
it was like,
played that night?
yeah, we walked straight into the venue and
Wow.
played, and then stayed in Brighton that night, and it was like the stormiest I've ever seen Brighton in my life. So we were loading out, and it's just the rain hitting us sideways, and we were just drenched afterward. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'd sat in a van for just about 14 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Was it worth it?
it was a good gig.
Good
Yeah, it
gig. Right,
was
well,
good. Yeah, yeah.
that's the main thing.
But we've done loads of those kind of journeys recently because my guitarist had a little one. His wife had a little one 4 months ago. So the way we booked this tour was, no more than 2 nights
Yeah.
on the trot. And of course, we've been playing lots of southern dates. So we've been up and down the country like, quite a lot in the
Yeah.
past 2 months.
That's almost like kind of the old days, really, isn't it? That was how the bands that we all know and love made their name, was
Yeah,
touring
exactly.
around
Yeah,
back
yeah.
of the van, all
Yeah,
the
it all
yeah,
feels very old school.
yeah. That's a good
I
thing.
have to tell you that.
Yeah.
I was recently in Ireland to see Neil Young, which was amazing.
Amazing. That might be the furthest you've travelled then.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem very far, especially if you fly it. It's
True.
like 40 minutes on the plane. But I guess if you were to drive it, it'd be ferries and whatever to get there, which it would
Yeah.
seem more of a trek. Um,
I bought Neil Young tickets this morning
did you?
for Bellahouston. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some as well. We've got some,
Yeah.
so
Literally about an
I'll
hour
see
ago.
you
So
there.
yeah, absolutely looking forward to that. I've
Yeah,
seen
that'll be
seen him
great.
before, but yeah, maybe not many more times.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
this is it. And actually, my partner thought that that might be the last time he was going to see him in Ireland. Across here, not saying that he's going to leave us anytime soon, but
Yeah.
just didn't know how many more times he was going
No.
to travel to the UK. So yeah, we were surprised when he announced the Glasgow
Yeah.
date.
Super excited for that.
Me
Yeah,
too.
and Elvis Costello as well
I
supporting.
know. Yeah, I've never seen Elvis
Oh,
Costello.
so good. You'll
You
love
know
him.
what? I thought when we were going to see Neil Young, I thought that Yusuf Cat
Cat
Stevens
Stevens.
was
Yeah.
going to be opening, but I think he just did the Hyde Park date,
Yeah.
and so I was a bit bummed out. And we got what's his blooming name? Oh God, I can't even remember his name. He's a great songwriter, but it
But he's
wasn't
but he's
it
not
wasn't
Cat
Cat
Stevens.
Stevens.
No. Okay
He's
then.
he's another guy that I'd love to see.
So there's my next question then. Do you have an artist or a bucket gig that you would still hope to go to? Someone that you've not seen?
Probably. I've got loads. They need to be alive, yeah.
Oh, it would
This
help,
one.
wouldn't
It
it?
would help, right? Okay. Well, yeah, I guess Cat Stevens would be one of them.
Yeah.
Who else would I still love to see? I know Emmy Lou's coming to Glasgow. I don't have a ticket for that, but
No.
I would like to go to that gig.
Yeah, me too.
Um, I mean, most of the stuff I listen to, the people are dead, which makes it quite tricky.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Um,
It's a bit of your sound has got that the kind of Emily Harris stuff, particularly the earlier stuff that she done.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
was hugely influenced by, that country music, and
yeah,
Dad lived out in Nashville, so I spent a lot of time out there, and um
yeah,
yeah, so it's definitely filtered through into
yeah. It
my own.
has. Yeah, yeah, and she's still doing it, which is great. So
Yeah.
okay, next one. So I know the answer to the next one, so I'm going to get you to give me the second answer, right? So the next
Right.
question is the band or the artist that you've saw the most.
The most.
So I was guessing it might be Big Country.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's
So
just
I'll give you that one, right? But
that's a given, yeah.
after, who else would you have seen if
Well,
you?
I tell you, through from a very late teens right through my 20s, I listened to a lot of Ryan Adams, which
Uh-huh.
is a bit controversial now because he's on the cancelled list. But
He is a bit, yeah,
I did I was obsessed with his music when I was younger, and so he is, I would say he's the artist I've probably seen the most.
okay. Not Muse,
Not recently. But
not Muse,
yeah,
no,
not Muse. No,
no.
no, no. I think I only saw Muse once, and that was enough for me.
Okay, so let me ask you, as a performer, then this is a difficult one, but what would you say was your sort of favorite gig that you've done so far?
Favorite gig I've done.
Yes, or
Um,
the one that's
well,
most memorable for you.
um, I'll just kind of go by the recent tour. Um, and we did a show in August in the Spiegel tent in Edinburgh, and I loved that. It
Yeah,
was during the Edinburgh Festival. It was this over 100-year-old uh,
yeah,
Spiegel tent
yeah, yeah,
that travels around the world, and it was just really cool. It was something different for us to play in a venue like that, and it was just brilliant. The atmosphere was great, and it was a nice sold out show, and
yeah.
yeah, it was the first live date that I'd done, um, in a long time with the band because we've been preparing to put an album out all year pretty much.
Yeah,
And so there'd been a lot of downtime. And for me, I felt just so happy to be back on stage with
mm,
my own band. I've done other stuff throughout the year with other people and some solo stuff and all that, but it was just that particular show in August at the Spiegel tent. I was just, I just felt so
yeah.
happy to be back on stage.
And does that feel like a home gig? I know you've got the Dunfermline
Yeah,
connection, you've got Edinburgh. Yeah, yeah,
Edinburgh absolutely feels like a home gig to me.
yeah,
Um, the Dunfermline ones it's obviously my birth
yeah,
town, but the Edinburgh, I've lived in Edinburgh for over 20 years now, and so an Edinburgh gig feels like a home show.
yeah. And
Sure, yeah.
also, PG Malloy's is pretty feisty as well, isn't it, at times? Yeah.
It is, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a kind of it's a little rock venue.
It is, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Good.
and my band can rock it up, but
Yeah,
we're doing the next Edinburgh one we're doing is in St Vincent's Chapel in Stockbridge.
yeah.
So
Wait, that's next 6th
that's the
December.
6th
Yeah.
of December,
All right.
yes.
Cool.
It's sold out though. But
Excellent. Interesting venue. Why did you pick that?
I just wanted to play somewhere different, and we've done Voodoo Rooms so many times in Edinburgh, and I love the Voodoo Rooms, but yeah, I just wanted to do something different.
Sure. Good. I don't know if you have an answer to this one. So if that's your kind of favorite gig that you've done as a performer, have you got any memories of a gig that didn't go so well? Where, yeah, well,
Weirdly,
uh,
I'm going to go back to the backstage at the Green Hotel because when I put my first solo record out, I did a bit of a tour, and we had one date there, and I think there was about four people at it, and so that was just, and I think about three of those people were my family. Maybe like one ticket holder, one actual ticket holder, just
yeah.
sitting somewhere at the back or something. And I just remember thinking, oh God,
Uh,
this is dire. And luckily, we've not had any of that, the
yeah,
past few years. In fact, the last 4 or 5 years, the shows are getting busier and busier, which is great. But yeah, 2015 or 2016, I think it was quite a
yeah.
while ago now. But yeah, that is a not a great memory, shall we say?
No, but you've got that kind of baseline, haven't you? That you probably look back a bit on stuff and think, well,
Yeah, I mean,
look where I'm now.
it's
It's
part of just doing
yeah,
the thing. You got to you got to play the quiet shows.
yeah,
You just have to do it. It's
yeah.
part of growing as an artist, and you know, yeah, you build on these experiences.
Character forming, I think they call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let me ask a question then. Did you do an encore that night?
Probably, yeah, just for the sake of it.
Ah, very good. Okay, so as a back to being a fan again, so what would your favourite live music venue be?
Oh, the Barrowlands.
Paris.
I don't have to think about that.
Okay. You're in very good company with that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's the best. It's the
Yeah.
best.
No, can't argue with that. Okay. Getting a bit difficult now. We're getting near the end.
Oh, great.
So what would you
These are
say,
the ones that I should have prepared for.
what would you say is your favourite ever gig as a fan? The best gig you've ever been to?
Um, well, I mean, yeah, I have to probably say Big Country at the Barrowlands, and I know that sounds biased, but there's plenty other people would probably be in the same boat with me on that one. Um, and
And why? Because of the emotional connection or
not, no,
just the
not
whole
even
night
that.
and
It's
no.
just that, I remember the atmosphere from those big country gigs at the Barras, and I don't think I've been to anything that you really comes close to that,
Yeah.
Well, there's things that get close, um, but yeah, I don't know if I don't know if, and maybe it is, well, it must be partly the emotional connection
Yeah.
and remembering my dad and all that sort of stuff as well. But
Well,
I love those shows. Uh, another gig that I loved recently, which would be up there, was we saw the Sex Pistols with
Brian Turner.
Frank Turner
Yeah.
at in Glasgow,
Yeah.
where the O2 Academy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was brilliant,
Yeah.
That was the atmosphere of that was amazing as well.
And he's getting great reviews as a kind of reinvigorating the songs if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not John Lydon, but
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah.
He's really great, and
Yeah.
I think he's definitely he's definitely reinvigorating that music and
Okay.
he's hitting a new audience. He's hitting a young audience and
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And not that many people saw the Sex Pistols, in their prime. They were here and then they were gone. So I guess there is a bit of a retro interest in what they do. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're two crackers. We'll give you those. What about your gig date? Can you remember that one?
What gig date?
The first gig you went to with a partner?
Oh God, right, here we go.
I just thought I'd throw it in again. I've only got one more question for you, so
Right, okay. Um,
it couldn't have been a great night, to be fair. That it would just
I
be
remember, I mean, there must have been ones before this, but I do remember going to see Simple Minds with a partner at Edinburgh Castle.
yeah,
And I can't remember what song it is, but I think they say "Come in, come out of the rain,"
yeah,
and it was
waterfront. Yeah,
absolutely teeming down with rain. But we were up the back, underneath one of the sheltered bits, and I remember looking out, and that was it was pretty cool.
all right, good. Well, we got there. I knew there'd be
Oh,
more.
there in the end,
Yeah,
that's one that I remember. It probably won't have been the first, but
no, I'm sure it wasn't.
it's a memorable one anyway.
Absolutely, like that. Okay, and the last question is, we ask everyone to nominate one live album that everyone should own a copy of.
Oh my days. Okay. Um,
We've had some great answers to this one.
well, that's a lot of pressure.
It's nice because we can recommend those to the guys, and it goes on the podcast, and it's all about keeping that music interest going. So,
Yeah. Well, recently there was a Fleetwood Mac Rumors live that
yep,
came out. I don't know if you saw
I
that.
did. Yeah,
And that's pretty great. I don't know if I would say it is my favorite live album. That's a difficult
because
one.
they're quite nuanced, aren't they? People have got some of the guys don't particularly like them, which I totally get. And everyone's had a
Yeah.
view on live albums, but I think if you love them, you love them, don't you?
Yeah.
You're yeah.
I mean, I do like listening to stuff live, but um, I don't know. I would really need to think on that one, Brian.
Okay. Well,
Can I?
message me and I'll put it in the
I
notes.
was going to say that. Yeah, I'll need to go away and have a good think about that.
Yeah, you'll come back with a
It's
list.
not
Yeah.
not something that's like at the on the tip of my tongue, you know.
Okay, magic. Well, that's us.
Uh,
So, I mean, that and how hard was that for you? Was it okay?
It was all right. I mean, I don't know if it was any good, but hopefully it's of some interest to people.
Of course it will be. Yeah, everyone enjoys listening to people talking about music, and that's all we're doing it for, really. It's good fun,
Absolutely, yeah.
and it
Yeah,
also it does lead people into other bands and stuff, which we always like hearing,
yeah, yeah.
which is great. And you say you've been fairly busy recently, so you've got
Been
some stuff
very
coming
busy,
up.
yeah.
How
Um,
the feedback on the album's been really good.
it's been great. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
had some great reviews. And the live gigs are going really well and people are really enjoying them. So
yeah,
we've got three left this year. We've got Stirling on Friday at Toll Booth. We have Edinburgh,
yeah.
6th of December, and then one up in Tayport at a thing called Tay Acoustic
Okay, I didn't know that one.
on the 15th, no, the 14th of December. And then that's it for the year. And I'm back out in at the end of January and February with a thing that I do called After the Last Waltz,
Right.
which is a last waltz kind of
Yep.
gig that I do with the Agnew brothers.
Okay.
So those guys are Pete
Yeah.
Agnew from Nazareth Sons. And so yeah,
Do you do
we
the
do it.
full? What do you do? The full albums or?
They do, yeah, they do the
Yeah,
last waltz,
they
the
do.
show,
Right.
the
Yeah.
show with all the Bob Dylan and Neil Young
Of
and all
course.
that.
Yeah. Right.
And I do Emmy Lou and Joni Mitchell
Yeah.
uh, part, so that they sing.
I like that.
So yeah, it's on in Carnegie Hall and Dunfermline. There's quite a few dates. Voodoo Rooms, King Tut's Glasgow. There's one down south in Stockton as well. So yeah, so I'm going to do that and then back out with my band in February, end of February, down to Scarborough and Portsmouth. We're starting with.
Driving again in the van.
Always driving.
Always driving. All right. Good stuff. And
Yeah, it'll be a lot of road hours.
where can we find you? Instagram's at
Yeah, so it's just
Kirsten Adamson
Kirsten
Music
Adamson Music, yeah, yeah,
and
and
your
then
website as
my
well.
website, kirstenadamson.com. Dead easy.
Magic. I'm sure people will go and check it out.
Yeah,
That was live music and me with Kirsten Adamson. Kirsten, thank you very much for your time.
no worries, Brian.
Catch you soon. Take care.